When your cassette's full, it's simply open up like so, and then you'll push and pull the cassette to take that out.
Alrighty.
Yep, you'll get it to your dump point. So say you found your dump point at your site, you'll open it up, take the cap off.
Yep.
You'll push and hold, there's a handle underneath here for your hand. You'll push and hold the release button, and that'll release the water and everything out like so.
Yep.
And once you've done that, you can actually open up the cassette. Normally there's a tap or a hose. Rinse that out.
Okay.
Rinse it out again so it's nice and clean. Close that, close that, close that, and close that. As long as that looks like that, it is also on wheels, so you can drag it around rather than carrying it.
It's probably a bit heavier.
Yeah, believe it or not, 24 kilos of walking that around is quite heavy because they have 24 litres in there. And as long as you've got that, you just push it all the way in until it locks. Don't just put it here and then shut it because that's not lined up with the toilet. You'll need to make sure that that is locked into position.
Okay.
And then locked in place like that. And that is lockable as well.
That's a lockable one as well. Is that the same keys there? Or?
No, they're slightly different. The hatch keys are different to those hatch keys, and it goes through them all with you as well. So that's the toilet cassette. Okay. Power lead, so that's about 5 metres long. Yep. So always handy to get another one as well. But 15 amp, probably no different than the motorhome you would have had before.
Yeah, I need to buy one tomorrow.
Yep, cool. Yeah, just get it. I always say get a longer one. It's like anything, that's 5 metres, but you'll be 7 metres away from your power box. It will absolutely annoy you.
Absolutely.
Water inlets.
Yep.
Okay, so your little silver key opens that up there. Okay, so when you open that one up there, that fills up the house water tank.
Rightio, yep.
If you're at a caravan park, for example, grab the hose, plug it into that, turn it on, mains pressure.
Fine. Free
camping, of course, you'll fill up your water tank, use a water pump, which is inside. Okay. And then that just simply locks like so.
No worries.
Come around from the back. Oh, you got your regen number the other day?
No, I didn't, but I haven't done insurance, so I'm going to do it.
Oh, cool. We'll do that.
Here.
Sweet. So with the door back open like that, so that's open like so, but you can actually push this little button, and you can actually spin this around a little bit further, and both doors are the same.
Okay.
Okay. Open up through there, so you've got your dual battery set up in there, so there's a little bit of storage there, of course.
Yeah, a little bit,
Open it up through there, you draw storage through there, and then of course when that opens up, there's storage under there, and then you've got your gas bottle storage in through there as well. So that's full for you at the moment. I'll just turn that off to make sure that's right. Yep. That is quite tight because it's sealed. And then it's just as simple as everything else in the back's pretty self-explanatory. That one locks there. That one locks there. Nice and easy. Reversing cameras up built into the tail light fin as well. So like anything, if it does get dirty, that's where it is. If you want to wipe it down. Bits and pieces on this side of the bin. That outlet there is your water outlet for your fresh water. Okay, so if you wanted to drain the tank, you just simply open that up.
That's the grey water tank.
Yeah,
that's like the shower, the sink.
The grey water's on the other side.
Oh, radio.
That is your fresh water.
Oh, fresh water outlet.
Yes,
okay,
so the tanks are full.
I see.
If you wanted to drain
if it's going in for a service, for example, you probably drain it.
Correct, exactly right. Okay. So that's just what those are.
Okay, yep.
You've got.
Is that unlockable, or can anyone drain the
anyone
water?
can get to it. Like you can go and get certain locking things on them. Like every single one here is not lockable.
It's not the end of the world. Right?
No, it's not. No, it's just like anything. If you
it's the inlet that's the key. You don't want someone putting something in.
That's correct. So these are all your outlets. So that's your gas outlet. So if you wanted a barbecue outside, that's power for 240.
Yep.
And then that's 12 volt.
Radio.
And then that's the TV antenna outlet.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay.
Yep.
Picnic table is very simple and easy. So that's just simply a matter of same key for the same job. 1, 2. That's what's down like that. Now, being an aluminium table, that will hold about 20 kilos as well because it's an aluminium table. Like anything, you just want to make sure that sort of pushes in and locks like so. And that makes life a little bit easier from there. Right, now the awning. This is definitely something you have to take notice of. So you've got a handle like this under your bed. So it's as simple as that goes into the receiver. Like so. It's a half turn. And then it is telescopic as well. So you're going to sort of keep it on that bit of a 45 angle. And then that will just wind out to your desired length.
Okay.
I'll go in a fair way so you can see where the legs live and all that sort of stuff. stop about there. Come inside for us.
Right, yeah.
I'll be able to show you what happens here. So everything lives in there.
Yep.
Okay, so you've got two options with your legs. So these are spring-loaded.
Yep.
So you'll take that out. And
Fits
then
into the chassis.
Yep, so you put that into there, adjust the height, and lock it into position.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Now, when these legs are straight, you can use these as extra support that lock into these teeth
Oh, yeah.
up there, and the outside is the same. The other option, now I've supplied you with a strap kit, which is inside.
Yep.
You can have it like this.
Mount it to the ground.
Yep,
Right.
peg to the ground.
Yep.
So in your books, there's 4 pegs, so 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
And then there's also this strap kit
Oh, yeah.
as well for you. So that there goes into the actual knuckles up here,
Yep.
and then they peg down to the ground. So that's the strongest way to have it. And then that's it there.
In case there's a strong breeze. And
That's it, yeah. And then like anything, just wind it back half a turn just to make it nice and taut off the ground.
Yep.
And then it's nice and secure. Okay, so always have it on a bit of a slope as well because of the rain. Obviously, you don't want to have it perfect, otherwise that'll fill up with water.
Yeah.
And then it's just simply a matter of in packing up, it's the exact reverse.
Reverse, yeah.
So it's just simply a matter of that comes down,
Yep.
push that all the way in, and then you'll just push it in, and that sort of slingshots back into position.
Yep.
Same with this leg as well.
Yeah, it's very similar to the last motorhome. I
Oh,
had.
perfect.
Yeah.
And then that just goes in like so.
Yep.
As long as they're in and flush, we can now just do
Wind it up.
the exact same thing in reverse.
That fabric doesn't retain water, but it rains
No,
up.
it's a vinyl.
Pretty good.
Yeah, so it's a marine grade vinyl. So the
Yeah.
good thing is here, just watch it when you come to the door when it's open, because you just slide over.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, shut the door first, and always back until it's flush.
Okay.
And then just pull out.
That's
That's that done.
Yep.
And the LED light strip, the switch is inside, but you've got all full opening from that there as well.
Oh, yeah.
The electric step, it's just as simple as in and out
Yep.
as well. That's that, mate. Jump on in. That's outside.
That's outside. Okay,
Yeah.
Yep.
Fairly self-explanatory with the outside of the van.
Yep.
Actually, come back this way if it's needed. I'll show you this one first because we're at a
Oh,
sort of
power.
good position. So this is your power module.
Okay.
Okay, so this controls all the system in the van. Okay, so date, time, temperature,
Yep.
volts in, amps out, currently charging 200 amp hour of battery, you're at 100% charge,
Yep.
we're on grid power,
Yep.
and the load is on because as you can see it's all on.
Yep.
To turn the load off, hit load, and it's off.
Right, yeah. It
It's
isolates
killed,
the
it
power.
isolates the power. So if you're storing it for 6 months, for example, and then when you want to turn it all back on again, just hit load. Same with the pump as well. So if you want to turn the water pump on, hit pump, bang, your water pump's now on.
Okay.
So if you see that symbol, you know
Yep.
your pump is on, so you can get pressure if you're free camping.
Yep.
You do not need that when you're on
Mains
mains,
water.
correct.
Okay.
And then just same thing, hit pump off,
Yep.
pump on, pump off,
Yep.
so on and so forth. And then obviously individual light switches for everything.
Yep.
Antenna, that's just as simple as
Oh, for
wind that up.
TV.
Yep, which
Yep.
is in here now.
Oh, yeah.
So that slides out, drops down. It is on a swivel. You can have it up and down and all that sort of
Is
stuff.
that viewable from the two front seats, or?
How
does
not
it go?
really. No,
So you
it's,
gotta be on
more,
this one.
it's more so there or in bed
Okay.
to view. But you've also got extra power points down there as well. So see how you got 12 volt and 240. 12 volt and yep. So you can actually plug the telly into that and pop it here. Or here,
Alrighty.
or here if you want to watch it from the front seats.
Oh.
You just got to take it off this bracket.
Yeah.
So what happens there, you'll push this button, that'll slide out, and that comes down like so.
Oh, yeah.
And then you can drop it down and all that sort of stuff. And
Yep.
then to put it back, it's just a matter of going back in, and that'll lock into position.
Yep.
And that'll hold it. Fire extinguisher
Oh, yeah.
in there, roof vent. So that's mainly just pops open like so,
Yep.
and you've got your block out and
Yep.
your fly screen.
Yep.
And same thing back, and then make sure it pops past that lock for the locking position.
Not recommended to drive with those open, I would imagine.
No, not really. You've got your main windows for
Main
that.
is really common too.
Yeah. So this window here, as is that one and the rear one.
Yep.
This one not so much, but these ones, all the bottom locks. So all the locks at the bottom are locked.
Yep.
So to open them, you'll push the button
Yep.
and spin it.
Okay.
Push the button, spin it like so, and then it's 1, 2, 3.
That's exactly the same as my last one.
Perfect. All the way to the top, and then lock into
locking down
position.
again.
And then they've of course got block out,
And
fly screen. This main door has a fly screen as well. Yep.
Oh,
so
I wasn't sure of that.
Yeah, when you do
excellent.
open that back up, there's clips on it now.
Yeah.
But when you grab to take the clips off, that comes across to here as well.
Good. Excellent.
That one not so much, obviously being a barn door style.
Yeah. There's a company that actually sells fly screen curtains for that. Are they just magnetic?
Yeah, they're magnetic. They're quite
just,
good.
Yeah,
You just put the magnets where you want in that position, and they just sort of, you can push it open and it just magnetises shut. Yeah.
So I might look at that later.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'll get you to go that way because I'll swap positions so you can see. Oh, watch your head. So you can see what all this does. Okay.
Yep.
So with the table, it is adjustable, so you can move it across. Now underneath here, you can.
How did you do that? You just
lift it up on a slight angle and just slide it across.
Oh, okay.
Like so. Now underneath here, there's USB and 240 chargers as well.
Oh, right, yeah.
So USBs are 12 volt, 240 is 240. Now if you just loosen these off slightly, you can slide that all the way out.
Oh yeah.
And then that's what this wooden insert's for. To put there. So if you spin that around and spin that around, 1, 2, 3, 4
table,
have now room at the table. Otherwise, all the way in. And we do recommend doing that for travel.
All the way in.
As well, yeah, just so it's got something to rest up against.
Sure.
And then that will either live in a cupboard or on the floor or under the bed, or you may never even use it. Hot water system.
Yep.
Okay, so gas, electric, hot water. Okay, so it's a 2-step process in regards to whether or not you want to use it on gas or electric. So typically, caravan park, you're using their power, so you may as well use it. Free camping, obviously you're relying on gas. Yep. So it's a 3-step process. Make sure it's got fuel, make sure it's got water, turn it on. That's it. So perfect example, caravan park, plug it into power, plug it into mains water, turn on electric. That's it. 20-30 minutes later, you've got yourself a full tank and hot water. Okay. Same process on gas, but obviously in reverse. So gas bottle on, water pump on, gas. That's it. So many people overcomplicate it.
Automatic ignition, I assume.
Yeah, 12 volt. So you need to make sure obviously your load switch is on, which it is, and it'll automatically load up and ignite on 12 volt for you. Okay.
What about the solar power side of things?
Yep, so that's all run through here. Yep. So that's basically telling you what everything's doing. Okay, so this will telling you how many amps you're using, how many volts. So right now it's saying 13.7 volts because we're plugged in the power. Yeah. And we're under a big shades cloth, so it's not going to get much. But solar, as you can see, the sun has 0 amps. Yeah. You're not pulling any solar at the moment because it's in a float mode. But if we drive out there, unplug it, and maybe wait 20 minutes, the battery will deplete and then it'll start to regain solar through there. So we've programmed it into the solar on the roof and the batteries that are in it, so you don't need to touch it.
Just automatic.
So the only way you'll ever need to touch that is if you put in a third battery or change the batteries, because this system's AGM, calcium, lithium, wet cell, dry cell compatible. Okay. So there's, if you said, no, I hate these batteries, rip them out and then put lithium in, you just change the setting on the charger and done from there. And all your books we'll tell you how to do all that sort of stuff. So you do have quite a few. A lot of it's useless because it's install, because whatever comes in the box they give you, but your Fiat books are in here as well. Okay. The Fiat spare key is in there as well with your books, and then of course all your main keys. So you don't really have that many. So like that's your Fiat spare key. So those are your Fiat keys. You've got one of them, you got one of them and one of them. Right. So realistically, you've got 2 sets of keys, but you've got 4 keys total. So they can all live together.
That's fine.
So I'll keep that in there for now. Right. While we're here, a couple of little goodies we give you. Obviously just a little hamper just to say thanks for your business and to your first night away. And this is that little Fiat kit that Fiat give us. So that there is a litre of oil. Yep. That is a litre of, half a litre of brake fluid. Yep. And then another litre of coolant as well. And just like a little connector for you to put them in as well. So Fiat gives that. You may never ever use it, but in case you do,
well, it's handy to have it.
That's right. Yeah, Fiat give you all that sort of stuff there. Coming through, like you've seen all the cabinetry the other day. They're the pegs for the awning, cutlery. That's the telly remote. That's your aircon remote. So we don't mount it because you might want to put it somewhere special. Sure. So you can do that.
Oh, so that's just for use when you're putting mains power.
Correct. Yeah. So like anything, it'll go as low as 16 as an aircon, and as high as 30 as a heater. You just point and shoot and direct to what you need it to do. Sure. Your maintenance is only in here, which is the lint vent. a dust vent, so you take it off, rinse it out every 12 months or whatever it is.
Yep.
Now the fridge, so you've got the Vitrifrigo 110 litre fridge. So with that, right underneath here is your power.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you basically got, it's off right now, so if you picture a clock, 12 o'clock is off, and then 1 through to 12. So 1 being the lowest temp, 12 being the highest temp. So right now, if you were to turn it to 6, the fridge is at half power, so to speak.
We'll leave it on because I've got some stuff.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, there you go. That's on now. So I might ramp that up to about 3/4 of the way, just to get it chilled out. Okay.
That's an ice box in the top, is it?
That's correct. Yeah. So you got your little freezer up in the top section there as well. Okay.
Good size fridge.
Very good fridge. And Vitrifrigo, they're an Italian fridge. They use these in a lot of boats.
Oh yeah.
Microwave, that's pretty self-explanatory. Very easy, simple to use. Obviously all your cabinetry, you sort of seen it the other day, you pull out pantry and all that sort of stuff as well.
Designed. It's good.
So up this end, 12 volt, you got 12 volt there.
Yep.
Power
USB
cord.
as well. Yep.
So TV antenna input, so like I said, you could bring the telly up here or if you really needed to. Your 12 volt fan is multi-directional, so you can spin it around and do what you want there.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And then it's simply a matter of fan speed, so low, medium, high.
That'll run on solar power, I imagine.
Yep, that's all 12 volt,
Yeah.
And then there's a timer on it too, so
that's
if you have
excellent
it on low,
too.
2, 4, 6, 8 hours.
Excellent.
So that way halfway through the night, if you don't want it on all night, it'll just turn off.
Great.
Yep, that's multi-directional there. That's all self-explanatory.
Yep.
So we'll go under the bed. Okay, so in through here, you can actually, as you can see, you can get to the power box through there.
Oh yeah.
That there is all your fuses basically on that projector system.
Yep.
So you'll get to it from down there, as is your circuit breakers too, rather than trying to reach through here.
Yep.
But you've got all your bits and pieces through there. Storage on top as well. You've got your awning winder there, and that's just the box for your telly. So just in case you ever wanted to travel, well, it's travel locked anyway, but you've got feet and instructions and all that sort of stuff in there as well. Okay. Extra USB power there, extra USB power there. So you've just got
plenty of it.
Power plugs. As I said to you on the phone, when we got this as stock, we didn't order half of this stuff.
They just came.
They obviously just went, well, let's do a few things extra and make it right. So which is good. Cubby hut. Well, this is all the new furniture too. So longer bench top, longer that, bigger drawers as well. Obviously hanging space as well. You can obviously use that as your cubby hole for your phones and iPads and whatever. Okay, so diesel heater. Okay, so typically it runs off the fuel tank of the car. So there's nothing you need to do about it there. All you need to do, you'll know you've got these vents throughout the van. So typically when it does get hot, or cool, I should say, that's your free camp heater. So obviously if you're not on 240 or generator, you can't use that. So you can't use the reverse cycle system. It's just as simple as you turn it on, see how it's gone to green. That's now gone into prime. As you can see, the fan's on. You can feel the fan already. That's going to start flashing for a little bit until it receives the fuel and heating up. From dead cold, which it is now, normally takes around about, same as the hot water system, takes around about 20 minutes to get to heat. But like anything, if you just max the bloody thing out, that'll just go really hot. Or, you know, you sort of, what I tell a lot of people is start it off, just turn it on, just to get it flowing, because it needs the diesel, then the coil needs the heat, and then putting it at full bore straight away, people have been finding issues with it. Where they've gone, oh, I'm turning my heater on, but it's not working. Oh, how do you do? Oh, it's full bore, it's -2. Don't do that. Get it cool, get it warmed up like an engine. You got to treat it like an engine, because it's like a big turbine. So you got to get the fuel to it, and then it'll get warm, and then you'll start to feel the heat, so to speak. Then you can start ramping up the temperature. Okay, and then just be cautious. I know it is there, but be cautious because you might hit it sometimes. And once
it off,
just turn it all the way down, which it is now, and then all the way up, and all the way down. So as long as you can't see that little light turn on, you're good to go.
How much fuel does it use?
Sips. Like you would take over an hour sort of scenario, for example. So if you take a sip out of a Coke can, out of a straw, you've taken 2 hours worth of what fuel this uses. Next to nothing. That's why people use it. So it'll. Put it this way, if you were free camping for a week and you had 100 litres in your fuel tank, you'd probably still have 99 litres in your fuel tank. Very efficient, because it's only just sipping the fuel out of it to keep it heated.
What about the drain on the battery at night time if it's running?
the battery.
For the fans,
oh yeah, like anything that you know.
In moderation.
Like anything.
Well, you've only got to warm the space up.
Correct. Yeah. And
easy.
yeah, it because all you're doing is turning the fan. Think of it like a computer fan, so it's not actually drawing that much. So for example, say pitch black at night, you've gone to bed with 100% battery charge. With that on all night, for example, you'd probably come back with about 96% battery. So it draws next to nothing. It's just. Yeah, if you had all of your lights on in this van all day, that would draw more power than. That's correct. Yeah. All right. So that brings us to the toilet.
Yeah.
And then really that brings us to the end of the trip in here, and then we can go into the car.
Yeah.
Okay. So actually using the toilet, so it's as simple as on the front of the toilet you've got the catch, which you'll open. That opens your cassette.
Already.
Okay. So open, close. Press the flush button to flush and then let go once you're satisfied. Once that all goes into the unit, shut it off again and you're good.
Okay.
You'll see at the back of that unit there's a little green switch.
Yep.
That will slowly roll into red once it's full.
Okay.
But typically when you open that up you go, oh, that's getting full. Anyway.
Okay.
And that does swivel.
Already.
So you can actually sit
sideways.
That way or that way, whatever suits you.
Already. Yeah. Does it exclusively use the onboard water, or does it use mains water?
Yes. No. So for example, if you are connected to mains water, it will use mains water.
Oh,
if you're free camping, like just then, I use the water out of the tank.
Okay.
Yep. And then we give you a little instruction kit, the starter kit for your chemicals and all that sort of stuff as well. Standard sink, standard tap, light switches absolutely everywhere. The vent up top does have its own little 12-volt exhaust fan.
Cool.
Because of the area. Useless. You may as well just open that vent up. It actually creates more noise than it does work. And then you've got your, once you're inside, you've got your hot and cold mixer tap in there. Okay. And that's as simple as that gets there. All right, cool. Oh, the other thing I need to show you, of course, your sink in your kitchen area. So hot and cold, there is a plug in there as well. And then you've got your gas. So that's no different to a gas barbecue. Press and hold. Ignite, and then once it ignites you can let go. That's as simple as that there. Range hood has its own light and is 12 volt as well. Okay. Obviously both down for travel.
And the range hood ducts outside, I
Yes, yep, so that goes actually out and up through there.
That's good.
That lever will spin the chair around, so you just got to sort of wrangle it around and sort of go into position. The armrests are adjustable, so you can have them up and down, left and right through these little swivels here. You just adjust the heights of them. And then, of course, each seat has forward, back, up, down, front, back. You just adjust it to your setting. So what I'll get you to do, I might give you this. You just want to pop your foot on the brake and ignite it for me.
I just need to move the chair back.
I'll run you through most of the dash stuff for you.
Turn the engine on?
Yep. All right. So we'll go through that when then I'll come around the corner and we'll go through that. So you've got the brand new, not only is it the new 9-speed, but it's also the new dash, the aircon, but you've now got the new 9-inch screen with Apple CarPlay as well. So you do have a couple of points. So you've got USB and 12-volt charging as well. But that one there will actually connect your phone to there. So that's full Apple CarPlay. Okay, so that'll get all your maps and your phone digitally displayed up there, and you're an Apple user as well, like me. So good thing is when that's in there, your messages will come up. If you want to use your own maps, you can, but of course there is navigation and everything through the screen as well. So you just no different to the Volkswagen. Everything's sort of got a home and media and radio all through there. So AM, FM, digital radio as well. So that'll do all your settings through there. In your home screen, you're basically telling it what to do. All your settings, your sound settings, language, all the bits and pieces, system info, factory settings, all that sort of stuff. So we keep it pretty generic, unless you want to change a few things, of course. Your media is obviously through there as well. Bluetooth connectivity, of course, once you're connected. Screen off for nighttime driving as well, rather than having a blare in your face, and then go from there. Okay, so very self-explanatory in regards to your system on the media. Obviously, radio, media, phone, nav. You know, nav's quite self-explanatory, no different to that. Obviously, there is there. You know, destinations, new routes, so on and so forth. Through there. Okay.
The reversing camera just works in reverse, does it?
Yep. So as soon as you put your foot on the brake, put it in reverse, it'll pop through that screen, which it does through there. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. Pop that back in the drive so we don't go anywhere. Aircon vents, nice and simple and easy. Obviously, they're quite large, multi-directional, close and open. Up the front here, that is air conditioned as well.
Alrighty.
So, for example, if you did have maybe a packed lunch or a drink or chocolates, you can put stuff in there. Simple glove box, of course. Cup holders everywhere, everywhere. What I normally do when I'm driving one of these with the phone, especially on Apple CarPlay, plug it into that, and that'll actually fit in there rather than having it everywhere else for you. The aircon is fairly self-explanatory. So these are your directions. So you've got up to you and feet. So like anything, that's now just coming to our face. That's coming to the face and the floor. That's going to the face and up. Obviously turn it on and off when you need to. Recirculating aircon, fan speed, aircon, no aircon, and then completely off as well. You've got your temperature, so it's digitally climatised as well. So same as your aircon, it'll go as low as 16, and then obviously heat and cool depending on how cold you have it. That is your rear demister. At the back, that is your front demister. That is your lock of the doors as well. You got your hazards. Now this does have lane departure warning.
I saw that before when I was driving.
So like anything, if you do take that off, that loud, disgusting noise will not freak you out and make you crash into something like it has me a couple of times. You do have hill descent control. Obviously, you need to be in gear for that to happen. And then you've got traction plus. So traction plus. So you've got traction control on. It's on right now. But traction plus is if you are in those wet, grassy showground sort of areas. Traction plus will help you get torque to the drive line in different ways rather than having it just go 100 miles an hour.
Rear-wheel drive, isn't it?
Front-wheel drive.
Front-wheel drive.
Yep. And then with that as well, what I found with Traction Plus, if you're reversing up a big hill or a driveway, that'll actually help you send more power to the appropriate sections rather than making it just spin the wheels, so to speak.
Good.
Down the bottom through here, so you've got your obviously gear stick, no different to any gear stick on the planet. Park, reverse, neutral, drive. You can shift and side shift like a manual. Driver mode, so you've got up the top, so power, eco, or normal. Typically normal is the best mode to have it in. Power, you know, like anything, if you're fully loaded and you want to get up hills and change that, it's no different to the V-dub. And then the eco obviously just sends it into a fuel saving mode, but normal's perfectly fine for everyday driving. Dash is self-explanatory: speedo, fuel, oil temp, and then water temp, and then your revs, of course. You will see either side of the smaller gauge you've got your lane departure assist, and also as you're driving, obviously the little triangles will pop up. Exactly right. You can obviously still see out some of the back of that as well, which is good.
It's obviously the side mirrors are the ones.
That's right, and you've got the 4 multi-directionals too. So you've got, you'll notice on your dial,
the bottom ones are really good, aren't they?
Yeah, the bottoms are good if you are reversing into that slightly different area as well, or like reverse parking. Then you've got your, so that's that there. Same on the other side as well. And then these ones here meet in the middle. And then they magnetise as well.
Cool.
Okay. So like anything, if you want to have a nap during the day, you will get sun through it, but at night time,
It'll also keep the interior a lot cooler than it might have been on.
Oh, definitely, especially first thing in the morning if you're facing it, and they clip back into position so they don't fly out on you when you're now just be cautious with these, because they're a multi-directional one. You've sort of got to keep it to the curvature of the window. So you'll see how I've kept it straight because of the bottom one, and then see how that, once that goes straight, then you can push it together to sort of lock it into position. They are flimsy, but they're the only ones that actually curve to the windows of the motorhome. Steering wheel, it's not a Formula 1 steering wheel, but there is a little bit to it. So you've got mute for your stereo, you've got up and down for searching of your songs, voice recognition, Bluetooth answer and hang up, and then volumes and everything as well. Indicator, no different to the Volkswagen on this side, as is your lights. So there is auto, and then actual lights on as well. You've obviously got high beam switch as well. Down this bottom one here, you've got so the top one is cruise control off in the center, and the bottom one is speed limiter as well. And then that's just as simple as up and down. Okay, so let's say, for example, we're traveling along at 100 kilometers an hour. Yep, we got the cruise control on, hit up to set, and then that will set on the screen for you. And then if you're lazy, like I am, and if you go from 100 to 110, you just press that 10 times upwards. Or if you're going from 110 down to 100, you just press that down 10 times. And then you can cancel and reset like your foot does. No different to that. Okay. Good thing is you're used to the European side of things as well with the Volkswagen, so this will be very, very similar to use as well. Yep. Okay. That's that section through.
And the speed limiter side of it just stops your speed.
Like anything, you drop that down to the speed limit, you've got 103 kilometres an hour. You can put your foot to the ground, it will not go over 103 kilometres an hour. Okay.
That's just it. And that's the wipers.
That's it. Yep. Wipers, and then obviously your flick master there for the wipers.
It says trip on the end. What does that do?
So that changes this screen up here. So if you keep hitting that, so that'll have your average speed, average time travel, date, time, range to empty, all that sort of stuff. Let's go through there, just for your knowledge as well. If you wanted to track a trip and go, right, day one of my trip around Australia, I did 194 k's. Day two, I did 843 k's. So that'll do trip time A, B, C, D, so on and so forth. A lot of people traditionally just leave it on the date or fuel, just to see how you're travelling with the fuel consumption side of things. But you've got time, external temperature, and obviously your kilometres to date. Yep. Okay, and then that'll be, you've got the foot on the brake, so you've got park. It'll tell you park, reverse, neutral drive. You can swap it across. As you can see, you're in gear 1 now. So once you start driving, of course, it'll go through the 9 speeds to where you need it to be. Okay.
And on the right hand side, it's what else is there?
Oh yeah, okay. So that's your start-stop technology. So you can turn that on and off. So
stop in traffic.
Yeah. So you know when you pull up and the engine turns off. Really, you want that off all the time. You don't really want that engine to turn off because you're charging the batteries, you're running the fridge, all that sort of stuff. You've got your front and rear fog lights, and you can actually dim your headlights, so they can go higher or lower depending on how you're travelling at night. So I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So once the lights are on, you can actually adjust how high or how low that is depending on how you're travelling. Cool. Yeah. Underneath my seat here, if you drop this down, that is your toolkit for the spare wheel. Yep. So spare wheel's under the back, so no different to a ute scenario. So you'll assemble the jack, and then there's a point, you'll see it in front of the rear wheel. So if we're looking at the side of the car there, for example, just in front of the rear wheel, there'll be a connection piece, and then that's where you put that on. You'll wind it down, the spare wheel will drop down like the back of a ute, and you can pull it out, change your tyre, put the old one back in, and get you on the road again. Okay. Underneath here, so you can actually open this up with the key, the ignition key. That is your house battery.
Oh, right.
Okay, so you've got your 2 batteries for the caravan.
Just the car battery?
Yep, this is the car battery under here. Okay, it's an AGM style battery. So if you ever get caught, there is connections in the bonnet. So if you need to get into the bonnet to open up the battery, if you can't get into here, you can do it through there as well.
Okay.
Yep. If you jump starting the vehicle, so to speak. So like anything, if you haven't got a car that can reach it, you can do it through the actual bonnet system there as well. This section up here, if you pull on that, that'll come forward, and if you press this button there, that opens up like so. So if you did have like a big iPad or a big map, for example, not that you won't have maps through there anyway, but if you have a big iPad through there, you can rest it there. Clip for if you had a map section for where you're staying, and then to close that back up in, you just sort of push it back together again and back down. More so for when you're delivering your hot bread for your paint. That's as I said, this from here forward is a delivery van. Yeah. But as you can see, all new technology as well. So I used to drive one of these about 6 years ago, and they still had that. And it was great because all your delivery, I was a wholesale liquor company delivery boy, delivering pallets of kegs and beer, and you had all your dockets for the day in there. As soon as you did one, rip it off. Yep, so that's the same. That's obviously just multi-directional. Yep. You've got your light switches as well, so you can have left or right, straight for the off, auto door as well. So that's on door, that's on off, that's on. So we'll leave it on door, so when you do open the door, they light up, of course. Yep. And that's the end of that chapter.
So here, this is Marucci Caravan Park. There's my new motorhome. It's a Fiat Ducato 9-speed automatic. You can see it's connected to water and power at the moment. It's got the screens built in to block out the light in the front and all the way around. Various services. That's where the water plugs in. It's got rear doors that can be opened up to expose the bed, and storage compartments. On the roof is air conditioning, and there's the side awning which extends right out. There's an outside power outlet and various other services. It's basically a standard Fiat Ducato delivery van. So all of the doors, the two front passenger doors, the sliding side door, the rear cargo doors are all central locked. They're all tinted. They've all got pull across insect screens if the windows want to be opened, and also they've got block out blinds to completely remove the light. And the same with the skylights. There's one there and one also in the bathroom. So this is the interior. There's a little couple of seats there. They're designed for 2 extra passengers, children I would imagine, so you can carry people if you need to. The front passenger or driver's seats and the passenger seats swivel around and become lounge chairs to use in the van when you're not driving. You can see the built-in screening all the way around there to stop the glare of the sun. It's a standard delivery van interior, fully automated. It's got a nice electronic mapping system, integrates to phone and Bluetooth and everything under the sun. It's got the power there, the drive. It's automatic, but you can drive it manually if you want. It's got a whole bunch of different modes. This table can slide out and be adjusted to fit for this seat as well. Plenty of storage everywhere. This one actually is the built-in TV. It slides out and pops out on a swivel bracket so you can watch TV. This here is the centralized power control system. I've got 2 house batteries and solar panel on the roof. At the moment it's on grid power. This also monitors the water and the grey water tank levels. Very intelligent system, and also controls the pump. There are light switches for the interior. Down here there's 2 ways to control hot water, either electric or gas, both automatic. There's plenty of power points. USB, which all runs off 12 volts. It's throughout the van. There's more power points, USB there. So even if you're not on mains power, if you're out camping and just on solar power, you can run and recharge any appliances that, such as phones or whatever. 2-burner gas cooktop. There's a little sink there, hot and cold water. This can adjust up. That automatically switches between mains water in a caravan park or pump water if you're remote camping. There's cupboards everywhere. There's a microwave oven there. Nice big Italian fridge. That's about 100 litres, 85 litres I think, something like that. But it's certainly big enough for me. It's designed for use in yachts, but it also works on motorhomes. It's 12 volt and 240 volt. And here's the bathroom. There's a loo, which is a cassette system. Sink. It's got a nice skylight with a fan, and there's a shower there. It's pretty tight, but it'll be useful if you're out camping and you get all sweaty. There's also an outdoor shower built into the exterior of the van, which I can get at. That's more storage down the bottom. That's power safety switches. There's a control for diesel heater, and there's various vents. The manufacturer says that'll use maybe a litre for an entire night of heating the van up in freezing conditions. There's a wardrobe and a couple of storage drawers, heaps more storage all around the back. Certainly no shortage of storage. Little 12-volt cooling fan there for when you're out bush and you haven't got mains power. You can keep cool if it's sunny or the batteries are charged up. That's the air conditioning system, very effective for cooling and heating. There's the bed. It's a relatively small bed, but it's certainly comfortable. It's got an inner-spring mattress. The bed can be lifted up, and there's a bit of storage underneath there as well. So there you have it. That's the van.